headed into Raceway Park in Englishtown, New Jersey to shoot a 5-liter documentary that you guys can see on our sister channel, Uncle Tony's Garage. We're going to be hanging out with Tony DeFeo and Evan Smith and talking to a bunch of our friends from back in 1987 when we were doing magazines like Cars Illustrated, which eventually morphed into Muscle Mustangs and Fast Fords. You might have heard of that one. I got my well-worn 87 LX in tow. That thing's seen over 200,000 miles. We're going to talk about this car. We're going to talk about Tony DeFeo's famous 1370 on Gatorbacks LX. That car eventually went 1343 on well-worn McCreary Roadstars with a totally stock engine. It's kind of set the whole world on its ear. We're also, before the end of the day, we're going to see our friend Seth, who owns Mean Mr. Mustang, which was originally owned by Steve Collison, an editor of Superstock and Drag Illustrated, and the first editor of Muscle Mustangs and Fast Fords. So we're going to have a good time reminiscing. I'm going to talk too long about too much stuff, but you guys are going to enjoy it. Check out a few clips.
Action!
So this is a little different Uncle Tony's Garage. So you see I'm sitting on a Mustang. That's because we've gathered together a lot of the people that started this whole 5-liter Mustang movement back in the late 1980s. And we're in a Hawaiian shirt. It's another thing you don't usually see. That's because in 1985, oh, we don't have, it's not in here. It's not in this issue? Stop.
Right? And I kept saying, I don't know. It's like, it's a regular engine, right? I said, we decided before we bought them, it's a push-rod engine underneath a really weird-looking engine. We just got to pray that all the horror stories we heard about how the computer is going to stop us from doing anything, that they're all
That was the
false.
thing. This was science fiction.
Have on here. This car is 1,500 original miles. It still wears the original Gatorbacks. If you remember these, back in the day, these were we burned all these up pretty good, but this survived all those years. Those are original.
I blew a hole in the sidewall of one of the rear tires on mine after only about, I don't know, maybe a month doing burnouts here at Raceway Park.
Right here.
Window
sticker still on the car. It's, you could get it for a bargain, $13,119 back in the day. It was a steal. I mean, this is what everybody wanted. The hatchback cars were more plentiful, so these notchbacks or coupes, depending on how you call them, were really popular.
Hey, we're talking with our old pal Bernie Golick here, retired from Ford Motor Company. Muscle Mustangs and Fast Forward answer man, some of you may know him as.
And I remember one day we go to lunch. This is part of the Bernie experience, by the way, because you experience Bernie. If you get to know him, you'll get the Bernie experience. And so Bernie's laughing. Bernie says, we can't go to lunch yet. I got to go to the Ford dealer, and I got to recalibrate a fuel system.
Pressure.
A fuel system. So I'm geeking because I'm gonna get to watch Bernie update a fuel system, and I'm thinking he's gonna break out all this equipment and stuff. We pull up to the dealer. He runs in the shop, gets back in the car with a pry bar, a socket, and a hammer. We drive around behind the dealership. He goes, pop the hood, Evan.
That was just a small sample of what went on that day. To catch every story in full detail, head on over to Uncle Tony's Garage. And if you haven't already, give them a subscribe so that you can see every minute of this epic trip through early 5-liter Mustang history.
Ready? Yep.
Go ahead.
5.0.